Schedule a free design consultation, and the more you buy, the more you'll save on blinds, shades, shutters, and more from Budget Blinds. Visit budgetblinds.com today.
We're going to change things up a bit. Nariman joins us on a desk here for sports. No more Moses, at least not for this weekend.
I was going to say, we booted him out, but no, he will come back next week.
Well, let's head into sports. Playoff hockey action continues in the AJHL as the divisional finals get underway tonight.
Yes, of course, Bonnyville Pontiacs, they have a huge test ahead of them as they are in Spruce Grove taking on the Saints. And as we saw earlier this week, the Yaks disposed of the Lloydminster Bobcats in 6 games. They are now playing in their first division final in the club's history. They will be in tough, though. Spruce Grove has been lights out this season. Now, they finished first in the North with 101 points, including an 18-game winning streak this season. Now, Spruce Grove won 4 of those 6 regular season matchups against Bonnyville. And, well, of course, former Bobcat Lucas Bench will be suiting up for the Saints. And the puck drop for this one is at 7 o'clock. And also in the South Division final, it's Lyndon Springer and his Brooks Bandits. They are taking on the Camrose Kodiaks. Well, to the Bantam AA Division finals between the Lloydminster Blazers and the Dawson Creek Canucks. Now, you're going to want to pay attention here to understand their unique playoff setup. Now, the Blazers, they won Game 1 of the best-of-3 series. They would follow that with a tie in Game 2. So going into Game 3 against the Canucks, they would need to either win or tie to advance to the next round. But if they lost, they would have to play overtime to determine who moves on. Are you with me? I hope so, because it'll make these much more understandable. Now, first period, Keegan Rowland has a step on the D-man. He hits Landon Broadhead with a tape-to-tape pass. 1-0 Blazers. Now skip to the second, 2-1 Lloyd. Canucks on the power play, and it's Wyatt McLeod working the rubber through traffic to equalize. Now in the final frame, game tied at 3. Dawson Creek's Keenan Halverson wastes little time, and he scores to put the Canucks up by 1. Now just under a minute left to go. The Blazers net empty. Nothing to lose here. Brandon Rowley, he will go the distance, make it to the net to make it 5-3. So we'll actually have to go to overtime. In OT, it's Rowley one-on-one with Eric Cook, but Cook gets a piece of it with his glove. Clutch save, keeping the Blazers alive. Then Logan Blythe will fire it from the blue line. It gets blocked. Rowland out in front shovels the backhand. And it goes in. Blazers, they win in overtime 1-0 and take the series 2-1.
It felt good. Yeah, it felt really good. So, but, you know, that's those goalies we have this year, Roddy Ross and Eric Cook. You know, they've been in a, you know, holding us in it for, you know, countless times this year. That's obviously what, you know, it helps to get us this far too.
I just seen them turn it over, and then it was on one of my teammates' sticks, and he just threw it to the front of the net. It wasn't in. I didn't see it go in, but I just seen everybody throwing their hands in the air.
The Blazers now face the Pack Saints from Spruce Grove. Game 1 goes April 3rd. Well, there may still be snow on the ground, but spring training is already here for the Northwest Prairie Pirates. Now, after a decent first season in the Saskatchewan Premier Baseball League, the AAA Midget Club is hoping this year they make a bigger impact both in the regular season and at provincials.
Ready?
Just because the calendar says it's spring doesn't mean Mother Nature goes along. The Northwest Prairie Pirates are at the Service Sports Center for spring training as they gear up for their second season in the league.
It was an absolutely great experience. Everyone came together, and our pitching, hitting, and fielding were all good in provincials. And although we finished, 3rd or 4th in the province, we were pretty happy with the end result being at first year.
It was neat to see as we got into the season what the competition level was like. We soon learned that it's a very high level of ball. So as we set our goals at the beginning of the year, of course, you set them very high. As we went through the year, we were pleased with 500. We're even more pleased that we were peaking at the right time as we went to the provincial tournament. 3rd place finish, which was fantastic for us. You know, we were 1 run away from getting to that final game.
With a record of 15-15, the Pirates finished in 6th in the 9-team league. They were led with the play of Rhett Fazer on the mound, but the pitcher has now graduated from the program, meaning others will have to step up in that position, including guys like Jared Coghill, the first year providing him a learning tool as to what needs to be worked on.
I think just mostly executing the location of the pitches is a big deal. Like me, I used to just throw strikes, and I realized that throwing balls was an actual good thing last year, just mixing it up.
I think the biggest learning curve is little things always count at this level of ball. So when you're walking guys, you put a guy on base through an error, you're not running the bases properly. You know, those things they'll come back and get you. And it's a very high level of ball, so you have to do all the little things right.
The team is in good position roster-wise, seeing how they're only losing 3 players from their 2014 lineup. Now the Pirates will open up their season May 2nd, but for now it's back to the fieldhouse to work on their swings and their throws.
Greg, the wild man Welsh has spent a decade in the sport of mixed martial arts, but now makes the switch from the octagon to the boxing ring. Moses Woldu has more on the reason for the change and what lies next for the fighter.
I have my share of MMA fights and lots of sparring and stuff like that, but it's a different animal, right? It's combat, but it's different. The thing that I hated, right, was getting taken down. I like to stand up, throw punches and kicks. So in boxing, I won't be kicking, obviously, but I won't have to worry about a guy shooting a double either, right? So I'll be standing up and banging.
It's a change for 35-year-old Greg Welsh, who makes a switch to boxing after battling injuries throughout his MMA career.
I got this, my hip, rotator cuff, that's pretty much it. I get a bunch of them. It's a shattered calcaneus, so broken heel. They call it a Don Juan fracture because the guys used to get them back in the day. When they were like trying to get with other people's wives, they'd come home and they'd jump off the balcony and they'd land and break their heels, and then they call it a Don Juan. I heard just walking from the bed to the bathroom. So, I mean, it's a possibility, right? But if a guy wants to do something bad enough, he'll do it. That's just how it is.
The bruises, tears, and fractures are par for the course. His energy is noticeable, a drive that astounds his friend and trainer.
He's his own specimen, right? He would get out of the shape the fastest. You know, he would just fall right off the wagon. And you know what? And he could be gone 8 weeks, and we would all be back a couple weeks or whatever, and he would come back in just smelling like booze and cigarettes and still outwork everybody. Cardio would never be an issue. It would just more or less be his health and his mental game going into a fight is it's more like he's got to have the mindset that he can do it, that he's not going to fall apart.
If all the old bones hold up and I feel that I'm ready to do it and go compete. Like right now, this is the test period, and we'll see. Like I got like a whole roll of tape on my ankle right now. You know what I mean? I'm made of tape these days.
Despite looking more like a mummy than human at times, Greg has seen improvement and hopes to get a bout before summer.
I don't know if I'm going to hold up. I'm going to give it a test run. I'm going to do 2 more weeks of hard training, and then I'll make my mind up after 2 weeks. So if not, I'll just come here and coach and spar and roll with the boys. And if it goes good, then I'll get this fight before June, hopefully.
Moses Woldu, Newcap Sports.